Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Kev Play. This is Kevin. We are on part 3 of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. We're 82% done with the solo tour for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. Let's get back into it. I realized that I I put too many more stats than I should have when I was playing. I forgot from part 1 or part 2. So I took away 3 stats for now. As we're playing, I'm kind of imagining I'm collecting stats if I fully complete a level. In the meantime, I think we had to do the combo, but we need some more air on that one. So let's go to Tokyo. Try the competition park, which should be simple enough. We'll have to get that platinum medal. See what we can do.
I cannot wait for this incredible contest to begin.
We're in Tokyo, Japan. Our platinum goal is to sow flip the Chenko Nabe gap. So let's try it out.
Come on, pro skater.
Best way to do it is get over here. Gotta take this thing out.
Look at that!
There we go. Beautiful. This level is pretty insane on the original version. I mean, it's pretty faithful to what it was. Very colorful. A lot of things to discover, a lot of gaps to discover. This is like a secret area that took me forever to find out to figure it out in the original version. There we go. South flip. There we go. Hey, Pulpa Pig, how are you? We just scored our first heat. Did good.
The level of competition today is unreal. Let's see what the next skater can do.
Happy New Year. Hope you're well. I'm just gonna... I don't know why, from my perspective, the sound is loud for the voices. Maybe bring this down a bit. Okay. I can save my career? I didn't know that was a thing. Pelpa's well. Good to hear. I'm well myself. Feeling a little bit better than last stream, because I was a little under the weather last time. Still a little sick, but I feel better. Overall, like I'm recovering. We want to go back up here. There's some cash I want to get right here. So, how was your Christmas? Thank you. I will get well soon, hopefully.
That was clean.
It's a level that I'm still trying to discover all the gaps in, but I've been doing decently with it. Beautiful. Yeah, so for Christmas, what did I get? I got a Fitbit, which I've been using. I got a filing cabinet, which is something I definitely need because my adulting is just all over the place when it comes to all the papers I have. You said your Christmas was good. I ate food and played Zelda Tears of the Kingdom all week. Beautiful. Yeah, and I figured I was gonna do a stream earlier, like after Christmas, but I was like, you know what? let's all enjoy ourselves. Let's relax. I figure you would probably like I knew that you got Tears of the Kingdom and Claire Obscura Expedition 33. I'm like, I'll let you enjoy your presence and mine as well. Plus, I needed to recover. I was like, I didn't want to stream again with like a stuffy nose and all that. Cool. We got
The
this.
talent on display today is on another level.
So, how do you like Tears of the Kingdom so far?
They are going off.
I myself, I got
The finesse.
You said it's really good, a big step up from Breath of the Wild. Okay. Yeah, I remember hearing that it's a lot of fun to play with like the physics and like all the puzzles that you can go about puzzles like any way you want pretty much. Not just like the way the game would want you to do it. Let's see if I can get up this thing. I didn't ask for it, but my sister got me something called a Retro Snap. Oop. Which is basically an emulation kind of Game Boy-like handheld. And it plays... Well, it has like 20,000 pre-installed games from like SNES to N64 to PS1 and Sega and Game Boy and Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance and like pretty much everything from like Atari to the PS1 N64 generation. And there's select games for each which are available to play that are fully there. And it uses save states. You said, yeah, those cheap handheld emulation devices. And I must say, I'm not sure if this is like I heard that the Retro Snap is kind of like a knockoff of another emulation device, still functional and all because I guess they didn't patent it or whatever. And at the moment, I'm running into an issue where the games I'm trying to play, like right now, I was trying to play Pokemon Yellow, and the game kind of just crashes at this point. Where I have some save states, but if I try to play for like a minute or so, it'll crash. And I've heard that there's some certain settings you need to tinker with in the advanced settings or whatever that you need to like turn on or off or whatever, and that will fix that. But at the same time, it's like if it doesn't work out, I'm not really the biggest emulation guy to begin with. So my sister still has the receipt. It can be refunded. It can be returned. But it was a very thoughtful gift and a very intriguing as I was tinkering with it and all. Cool, we got the Platinum Medal for Tokyo, which is the final competition level for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. Now I want to apply my stats back. So I figure let's get the air, hang time, speed, and I think I can add another thing. Let me see. Yeah, 3. Okay, so that works. You said, yeah, I see them all the time. Yeah, because ever since I got it, I'm seeing like ads for it all the time. Because of course, like your phone can just knows what's going on in your life, and it becomes like an algorithm thing. Especially if you search about it. But it is a really nice gift. Very thoughtful. She said, she like before Christmas, she's like, I think you're really gonna like it or whatever. And it's not something I ever. I'm not a big emulation guy. Like, obviously, I'm a big physical guy, but there's a ton of games that I'm never gonna pick up physically, and obviously, game preservation is a very serious thing that isn't really being preserved by like modern companies correctly. So, if a game can allow me to play like these old Game Boy Simpsons games or SE, like being able to play Simpsons Arcade or any of these games that are just not available to you. I'm finding like Pokemon games, old Pokemon games that I have, even my legit Game Boy Color doesn't even really save properly anymore, the cartridges. So there is a sense of like, game preservation. If you can have a game available to you then it's worth it. He said, I've also been watching Stranger Things 5, season 5, and oh boy. Yeah, I've heard that it's kind of one of those, popular shows that kind of like just fumbles towards the end. Sort of like Game of Thrones, sort of like The Walking Dead. Listen, like I've watched like up to like the eighth or ninth season with The Walking Dead, and I was done with it. Even in its heyday, the show wasn't worth the hype for me. It was good to watch week to week, like on a Sunday. Like have a nice B movie, zombie movie for each episode. But like the character work was kind of clumsy. The story was kind of aimless. But that was Walking Dead, and ever since then, ever since there was been a show that's like entered like the cultural zeitgeist that's very popular, and people like I'm always just wary of it. I'm like, okay, I know a lot of people. There's a lot of eyeballs on this show. I'm gonna wait and see until it airs, and I'm not, I was never really into Stranger Things to begin with. I tried to watch the first season, wasn't really my bag. I could see how it could be appealing for others though, which is fine. But yeah, I just wasn't into it. I think one of the best shows I watched this year, or two of the best shows I watched this year, was Severance and Pluribus, Vince Gilligan's show, and they're both on Apple. And those are shows that I think are um, right now. Severance is 2 seasons in, and it's definitely lived up to the hype for me. Pluribus I thought was a wonderful show for first season. Okay, I think we'll see now. If I do cruise ship, I'm not going to be able to complete or get any stats just yet. So I want to see if I can go back to Canada and get that Stiffy over the hill um, challenge. You said, I mean, it's not complete trash, but the final battle was a bit anticlimactic. Okay. I've seen the first episode of Severance. Yeah, the first like Severance, it's one of those shows that it's like I went into it not knowing exactly what it was, and I liked that. I liked the surprise of it, and as it kept going, it really does become like a rabbit hole to go down and very compelling. And it just reminds me of my own work life, where it's just like I kind of wish I can separate work from my real life in a way, but like, what would that be the best thing for you? Like, I love the sci-fi exploration of it, of like separating kind of like your work self from your personal self and all that, and it's interesting. But what was I gonna say? Oh, another show that kind of bit the dust towards the end too for me was Dexter. I've never seen a show that I've been so obsessed with in like the first 4 to 5 seasons, and then it become a complete mess towards the end, like a complete unwatchable mess in its last season. I'm hearing that Stranger Things season 5 isn't completely unwatchable. I think it's like, from what I'm hearing, people are kind of just lukewarm on it. There's some moments that are kind of just like, yeah, they kind of fumbled that, but if you can find joy out of it, uh, that's all. That's all you can really hope for, I guess. All right, let's see if I can do this. Oh, did it! Beautiful. Just free skate a bit until we can end the run. Actually, let's end the run. Beautiful. Oh, there's a piece of cash there. I should actually do that. I don't know how I missed that. Still some gaps in this level too that I'm trying to find. Might have to look it up towards the end. Okay, so the cache is right here. Okay. Beautiful. What else did I get? I did get Severance season one from on Blu-ray for Christmas. I got The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing. John Carpenter, of course, is known for The Thing and also the Halloween movies. But The Thing is a movie I saw like earlier or maybe last year, and I was like blown away. I've never seen it before, and it was like one of those like kind of like horror movies that like is to me like is just like so well done, so good. Like I've never. It's been a while since I've watched a movie like that, and my jaw is just like on the floor by how stunning it is. Like the practical effects and everything. It was so good, and just like the story and everything. It was just so like you're on the edge of your seat. Um. All right. Now that we got that, we can add three more stats. So we'll add max out our ollie and hang time, and I guess we'll put our switch on. Switch is basically if you're skating regular or goofy. Uh, I think your skater is like set to be either regular or goofy. But if you start putting your stats up more, then they'll be able to do whatever whatever foot position they're not usually used to, and better than they usually can. Um, yeah, let's go back now. Let's go back to Los Angeles and finish that combo. You said, "Oh, nice." I did get Expedition 33, but I must finish Delta first. Yeah, take your time. I would do the same thing. I would just pick a game and commit to it. Lose yourself in it. Try to do as much as you can. At least beat that main story, and then if you feel comfortable moving on, then you do that. Let's hope for the best here. Beautiful. We got this. There we go. Is there anything left in this place that I should do while we're here? I think there's something that you can do where you can open these grates. I just kind of want to do that just to say I did it. What else did I get? Oh, I got Mad Men Complete Series on Blu-ray. I've always had Mad Men is one of my favorite shows of all time. And I have the complete series on DVD, but it's one of those shows where it's like, I should update to Blu-ray. And especially after the train wreck of Mad Men going to HBO and it being given like a really bad transfer where you can see like people with like boom mics and like the cast and crew in the background. Basically, like they didn't get a good version when they tried to make it like HD or something, and they got this like transfer of the film where it is there's like no post editing to clean up all like the mistakes of like finding like cast and crew in the background or whatever, and it became like a trending thing on Twitter for a while by how terrible the transfer was to HBO. And it made me want to like preserve the Blu-ray where the transfer is actually good and done correctly. It's a show like if I feel like I might want to show my sister sometime or someone or a friend and like kind of vicariously watch it through them again because it really is like one of my favorites. But yeah, that I got. I didn't get any games in terms of physical games. I don't really have anything on the docket right now that I'm like interested in. Although there are some games that I'm tinkering with for my backlog that I might get. So yeah, Blu-ray will always be better. And plus you get all the special features and everything. Like, well, you can't go wrong. All right, so now that we did this, let's add 3 more stats. We will give flip speed. We don't really need lip balance because I could balance. Let's do flip speed again, and then I think was it 3 or 4 stats that are available. So I'll give it to spin. Actually, manual. And it was 4, so we'll give one more to... Let's give it to manual again, because we could use the balance. Okay. Now we can move on to... We got everything done. Cruise ship is basically like the reward level at the end of the solo tour in the original game, or the career in the original game. It's kind of the last level of like Tony Hawk is always supposed to be kind of like the fun level. So we'll do this one.
Attention all passengers, this is Captain Jennings speaking. On behalf of the crew, I'd like to welcome you aboard the cruise. We hope your stay is a pleasant one.
Now there was a little bit of censorship in this level. It says impress the pro skaters. The original goal in the game was to impress the Neversoft girls. Kind of like the Crash Bandicoot, the CTR girls in Crash Team Racing, like the Winner Circle girls. Again, they're like the Neversoft girls were kind of girls with like kind of like, you know, belly shirts and like short shorts, and they're kind of like bouncing around, and they had jiggle physics with their boobs and all that. I guess Activision decided that's not gonna fly in this version. Like I said, the early 2000s was just a different era. Skateboarding was a different culture back then. I still think that culture is kind of the same, you know, obviously, you know, but it is what it is, I guess. Okay.
Let's see what you got.
I gotta do a lip trick on this helicopter. Don't.
Come on, pro skater.
Let me try that again. Got the secret tape. I'm gonna read your thing in a second. I just want to be able to get this out of the way. There we go. There's 3 different stunts I have to do in order to get a certain part of the level unlocked. So let me just get that out of the way. One of them is to manual this all the way.
What you got?
Beautiful.
What do you got? Welcome to the... Wow!
And then the other is to do a figure 8 on this, or like skate around the whole double figure 8. Okay, now we gotta go to the gold medal, which is behind us, so let's go back this way. Only got 16 seconds. It's good to get this mission this goal out of the way first, because then you can open yourself up for more goals to complete. We gotta get this right here. There we go. And the exact scene happens in the original game.
That could have put someone's eye out.
Passenger overboard! All hands to stations! Lower the anchor! Deploy the safety nets! Move it, people!
And you pretty much just killed the guy, but it was worth it. Let me just get... hoping to just get... skate on the... oh, I can't do it. Okay. You said... what did you think of the rumors of Crash Bandicoot in Fortnite? I saw something about that. What was that about, though? Like, I saw kind of like an image that he would be in a mech, like he was in the Wrath of Cortex. I think I saw a rumor of something of the sort of that. I haven't heard anything about that. But I think it's... if that was to happen, that'd be kind of odd, but it wouldn't be the first time that something odd in the Crash Bandicoot franchise has happened. kind of a weird, like, is... Obviously, I don't think Nintendo lends their characters to Fortnite because of how strict Nintendo is with, like, copyright and everything and lending out characters. Yeah, I don't think they would ever do that. Crash Bandicoot, obviously, it's multi-platform, you know, owned by Microsoft, so I can see Microsoft doing that because Microsoft is just so random these days. Like, it feels like they'll do anything for any clout. So I don't know. So it's just an estimation of what it would look like. It might happen because the same leaker said Pulp Fiction would be in Fortnite, and it happened. Yeah, because I think a lot of Quentin Tarantino's stuff were kind of like he agreed to allow a lot of his like movies to cross over with Fortnite. So that is kind of interesting. What am I doing? Oh, I want to unlock this pool here. Gotta drain the pool.
Not quite. You'll have to do better than that, landlubber.
Let's try to get these skaters impressed.
You gonna do something? Gnarly!
Okay. You know, I was thinking about Crash Team Racing, that rumor of, or when we saw that screenshot of the Crash Bandicoot 4 art style with the Crash Cart,
Nice going.
and people were speculating that it might be a new Crash Team Racing. I think one of the... I remember saying, like, oh, like, what else can you do that's new? You know, we got so many levels, like, the Nitro Fuel was just so jam-packed with characters and stuff. I think the one thing I do want to see in the sequel is different weapons. Maybe
Keep your distance.
make it more modern where the weapons kind of have a more interesting, I guess, a more interesting weapon set. And maybe try to do things that we couldn't do before in the PS1 era.
Whoever is staying in
I keep forgetting what I'm trying to do here.
Guardian deck, there is an incredibly terrible smell coming from your quarters. Please clean it out or we'll have to call in the hazmat team.
Think you got some moves? How long have you been skateboarding? Woo, woo, woo! Woo, woo, woo!
Let's see your trick.
See if I can do anything of use here. Alright, I got the platinum at least. Platinum score at least. You said they should have made these Neversoft girls playable characters. I think even in the original version you could play as them if you can unlock like skins maybe. I know there was definitely a character in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 that were very risque female characters. One being in 4, her name was Daisy, and she was played by Jenna Jameson, who is a porn star at the time. They like scanned her body in, and trust me, her special tricks were definitely not something that would fly today, I don't think. Yeah, let's keep it going. You said a what? Like, the Tony Hawk series was rated T for teen back then, but they got away with a lot of risque stuff. For sure. And now it's a little bit more clean than it used to be. Which, for better or worse, you know, I'm not a teenage kid anymore, so I don't really... It's not something I need in my Tony Hawk games. And I do think it's kind of unnecessary, especially when you have... You know, in this game, you can play as a 13-year-old pro skater, a female pro skater. I don't know if you want to mix up, uh, you know, porn star characters with a 13-year-old. I think that's a little weird. But at the same time, that's just what it was. I can kind of accept some censorship in a way. Like, the original games are always going to be there for me, so I don't need to see every little thing that was included back then. I think a lot of things are a product of its time, and it could probably stay in its time. But yeah, there's certain other uses of censorship in this game where it's like, yeah, they probably could have not been so prudish about it. Alright, where is this? Oh, this last guy's right here. By the way, when I complete this, you're gonna see a skater who's a real skater who has no legs in real life. This guy right here. I forgot his name, but he's a real skater. Unfortunately, you can't play as him. Which I think is kind of... It would have been cool if you could play as him. But he's a real pro skater, and if you ever watch real videos of him, he's pretty nuts. Okay, what else we got? Alright, there's another part of the level we have to, like, unlock. We have to, like, raise a boat, raise a ferry. So let's see if we can do that. I think if we do that, I need to go this way. Let's see. I wonder what would work in gameplay. I think they could do it because, you know, if anything Tony Hawk's Underground 2 proved is that they could do Tony Hawk's, I guess, gameplay with different types of vehicles, and like you were riding around with Steve-O on a mechanical bull, but you were basically doing Tony Hawk tricks in the same like with the same like controls, and it controlled a little differently, but you were able to do it. I could see them still allowing you to fly around the level like you do with, you know, with an able-bodied person. I think they can make it happen for this for the guy with you know, who lost his legs. Okay, we gotta give this toolbox to this guy. Raise that ferry.
Attention passengers, the ship-to-shore ferry has arrived. Those leaving for the island, please proceed to the starboard side shops on the promenade deck to board.
And now we can do the combo letters. Now that the ferry's raised. And this netting was done because the guy went overboard. Oh yeah, I have to go this way actually.
Can you land it?
I can land it. Beautiful. Let's get this piece of cash here. Don't want to fall off. Okay. I have to do a 540 south flip over the planter. Okay, let's see how that works.
Show me your stuff.
That's Ollie North. Beautiful. Collect skate, rocket air over the... Oh, we can rocket air over the crazy lifeboat transfer. Dope.
Attention! Thrill seekers attempting to hide us from the top or the bow of the ship. Before flinging yourselves, please be aware that as you enter the water, you will most likely be sucked down
There we
to
go.
the undertow and never be seen again.
Now, in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, after you fully complete the career with one skater, you would unlock something really cool, like a secret skater, or a secret level. Usually the secret levels were like throwback levels from the first two games. So I remember like when I was gearing up to play this before it released, I was playing the original version. And I never knew that you can unlock like the first level of the first Tony Hawk game, Warehouse, all over again, and that was the first time I saw it in kind of like a remastered version of it because it was from a PS1 version to a PS2 version. I think you were also able to get the Area 51 level, the New Mexico level from Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1. Really cool that, and it's just like the game doesn't even tell you that you can unlock these things. It just kind of surprises you. This game, obviously, you're just kind of unlocking stuff for the skate shop, skateboards and stuff, so it's kind of lame, but you did unlock, like, certain skaters, like, you know, I did have to unlock Bam Margera, I did have to unlock Michelangelo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so there's something with that. I have to add the cannonball trick, because I had to cannonball into the pool. So I'm going to do up, circle, and give it the cannonball, okay. So let's try it again. I also have to collect these Red Bulls, which I don't think was a challenge in the original game, I forget. Could be wrong. I'm guessing you still can't hear the streaming mode music, which I can hear at the moment. I know we long discussed this, but I think it's a lost cause at this point. I think it's just a fault of Iron Galaxy just not doing it right. Okay. Yeah, it's weird. Alright, we're gonna... get this one. We got one more left, which is in the pool. Up this slide. Beautiful. Can I send a complaint? I guess I can. I mean, it looks... if someone has to, I'll do it. I remember, like, with, like, Days Gone and Horizon Zero Dawn, there were glitches that were preventing me from progressing through the story when I first played, when the game was new. And I tweeted at them, at the developers, to fix it, and it eventually did get fixed. I imagine that they had their own, had enough people complaining about it, though. But with this game, it's like, I don't know how this game sold. I don't know if, like, people were turned off that Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4 was not a faithful remake. And then they got turned away. And then there's not that many people that are around to complain about the game, or, you know, defend... you know, let their voices be heard about anything that needs to be heard. So, maybe it's me that has to speak up. Okay, what's left? We just have to collect skate. So it should be simple, and then we can move on to Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4. And, oh, we'll collect the cash also. I should start at this one. Dope. Product placement. Hey, the original game had product placement also. There, you know, it kind of was part of the culture, because, like, when you're skateboarding for a sponsorship, or for, like, a certain skateboard team, you would have certain companies sponsoring you. You know, kind of like when you like in NASCAR races, they have like different, you know, they have product placement on their cars and stuff. As a sport, it's kind of to be expected. But yeah, the Red Bull thing is a lot of product placement here. Oh, I never knew that Red Bull float kind of like returns if you knock it over. Damn it, I keep missing this. Does it come back? Oh, it does come back, cool. Cool, we got the T. I think the E is over here. Beautiful. need to get onto this flag. Beautiful. There's a K somewhere. Where's the K? I feel like I missed the K. Oh, I know where the K is. Let's hope I can get there in time. Should be where this helicopter is. Beautiful. Today I've been playing this game and I've just been looking for gaps while I listen to a podcast. It's been like... I'm trying to avoid looking it up as much as I can. Like, for each level I have, like... If I didn't complete it yet, I have, like, a little bit of gaps left to do. But I know I'm going to platinum this as soon as I complete the skater's full career. So, if I don't find all the gaps by then I'll probably just do a little cleanup, because I'm pretty close to platinuming this. Alright, we got one more piece of cash I just need to get, and that should be all she wrote for Tony Pro Skater 3. I think it's over here. Oh, it's on the other side.
Show us some tricks.
I think it's on this little balcony here. Just gotta... There it is. There we go. Alright, so we can end this run. We did good. And now we've completed all this. All the cash is done. Everything is done. Now we can quit. Is there anything in the skater that I should look at? Oh, it's just telling me that I can put that. Okay. So now I'll quit. And we'll start Tony Pro Skater 4. So this is going to be done in a totally different lens than what we're used to. You know, the original game is a free roam game. You go up to an NPC. You talk to them, they talk back. You know, it was with voice acting and, you know, kind of like Spyro 2. You go up to a player and they give you a mission. And the free roam was no timer, you know. In this version, it's a 2-minute timer, just like Tony Pro Skater 1, 2, and 3. You know, disappointing, but at the same time, Tony Pro Skater 4, the original, still holds up. It's still the definitive way to play the game, but I am intrigued that we're being offered Tony Pro Skater 4 with a version where it is a 2-minute timer, and it's like, what do they cut and what do they leave in, and how do they, especially when the maps were kind of not designed for a 2-minute timer, they kind of make it work here. But there's a lot of stuff that was cut from this game, unfortunately, and I'll explain throughout what my disappointments are and what I find different or whatever as I go. But we'll see. And you said according to PSN profiles, it should take 100 hours to platinum. That sounds about right. And of course, with me, I've just been enjoying it. You know, it's been a background game that I play a podcast on, and I'll play casually. You know, it was also a game that I put on the back burner when Death Stranding 2 came out and when Ghost of Yotei came out, and especially when Gears of War Reloaded came out. So I've been playing other games, and this has kind of been like a background game for me to platinum. So we'll start off with this game. I guess let me just like explain this. The original Tony Pro Skater 4 has College, San Francisco, Alcatraz, Kona, Shipyard, London, Zoo. And then there were 2 other levels. One was called Chicago, which was a Matt Hoffman BMX level that they let you play. But it also had all the like a ton of missions specifically engineered for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4. So NPCs that would give you missions and whatever. So there was Chicago. Chicago is not included in this game. And then there was also the Carnival level, Carnival, which is not included in this game. Though Chicago and Carnival were secret levels that you had to unlock if you had enough cash in your career. They're not included in this game at all. That's a disappointment. What's kind of makes up for it in a way is that they gave us completely new levels. It's going to be water park, movie studio, water park, and pinball. So we'll get to that when we get to it, but for starters, we'll start at college. A lot of these goals that they're giving us were goals that were in the original game, but there's also a ton of goals that are just not included anymore because they can't. Again, it probably was a time thing with the development that they couldn't get it all in, but they also can't just keep dumping goals in. It would have been nice if they did it as DLC maybe later on, but Iron Galaxy has been very quiet after this release. One of the new things that's introduced in this game that's that's been introduced new from the remakes. Well, you have to remember, when Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2 came out, they included a lot of movesets that were included in 3, 4, Underground, and Underground, in the first 1+2 remake. So there's a lot of stuff that when you play 3+4, it doesn't matter. Like you have all those movesets that they introduced to you in 1+2. But the one thing that was not included was the ability to skitch behind cars, which the fourth game introduced. So that's a thing that you can do in the third game in this remake also, but I just didn't do it because it didn't make sense to. So here we are in the college level. What do I want to do? Oh. I usually get the frat out of the way here, so
I'm gonna be late for class.
basically I have to knock all the frat people's like kegs down. There we go. By the way, Officer Dick is running for mayor, or it's supposed to be Mayor Jed, but Officer Dick returns and it's played by Jack Black. So we're gonna have to take his banners down so he doesn't. We don't want him running for mayor. So we'll do that right here. There's a banner. 4 out of 7 banners torn. 5 out of 7. There it is. Now Jack Black running for mayor. Now, it's not Jack Black's voice, though, which is weird. At least I don't think it is. I remember them saying that they used his, like, likeness again, and they allowed that, but for some reason they did not, I don't think they let him have his voice again, which is weird. I could be wrong, though. Now we gotta sketch the professor's car. These guys stole the professor's car, we gotta get it back. So we can ride behind like this. Press R1 and L1 to go left and right. Just gotta hang on and hope for the best here.
Gotta get to class.
Now, if you were playing this game and you didn't notice what was cut and what wasn't cut, I think you'd still enjoy this game. I saw some reviews of people who never played the original game that still enjoyed this career for what it is. See if I can get up here. There's a secret tape that I can get right here if I'm lucky. There we go. Dope. Got the tape at least. So unexpected, really. Yeah. So yeah. Now again, Jack Black was never in the original games, but they brought him back in 1+2 as Officer Dick, you know, which was a cool thing, a playable character. It says these games look really hard to play. I think what I would find most interesting, Pelpa, if you were to play this, is to see how far you can advance, because a lot of the goals are easy and a lot of the goals are hard. And right here, what we have here, when you play it, it's just the main goals that you're trying to do to progress to the next levels. The pro goals were stuff in yellow here were added after I like beat the game or something. I forget how I unlocked them, but they were not meant to like be beaten in order to like beat the main game. Not that they're not. Some of them are pretty easy too. You said I have 1+2. I can start with that. I feel like the game is designed to kind of make you. You don't have to go. You don't have to complete everything in order to advance. And if you can't, and if you hit a brick wall, then you can go back to past levels after you've been playing, and you might have learned something from other levels that you can apply to earlier levels, and then you can be like, oh, this is actually not as hard as I thought it was. When you're watching me play this, it really is. I've been playing these games for over 20 years now. I'm pretty good at it. You'll learn that the game is only as it's. I think it's like CTR, where it's easy to pick up, hard to master. But I think it has a better. It's more entry level, I think, than CTR. In a way, I would imagine. Because really, you're like when you're playing for high scores, you're playing for yourself more than you're playing. Like, your high scores will always be your high scores, and you can only try to improve on that. And you'll find certain ways to do that. There are certain things in this game, though, that I have learned that they don't really spell out to you. Kind of how like CTR does not spell out the Ultimate Sacred Fire to you, or how like there's a reserve system with your boosts. The game never really explains that to you, especially in the original game. There's stuff with Tony Hawk where I've learned certain things that I didn't know in the past, and because the game never really told you that. And it's helped me with like combos and stuff. But I think as a game, though, like it's something that you can be doing, and it's a short game too, so it's not like it's a game that you'll be like sinking all this time into and not being and getting frustrated with. It's a game that, like, if you have 1+2, I would just hop in and try to see what you can do. Let's try to get these skate letters. Yeah, so I must give this series a try one day. Yeah, I recommend. Did I get this? I think.
Hey, nice day.
Oh, A's right here. Cool.
Ready to shoot.
And then T.
What you got?
Where's T?
Pro skater, go crazy.
Show me your slick camera.
T is right
Let's
here.
shoot over here.
Okay, cool. Beautiful. Now this mission. Oh, by the way, so this area right here used to be full of like football players, and you had to do a combo back and forth on these rails and kind of knock them down because they were like the jocks, and like you know they didn't like skaters or whatever. That was kind of like the story of it. But these little elephants that we're collecting are a callback to Ollie the Bum, who was a recurring character in the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series. And he was a character who, in this level, he says there's pink elephants everywhere. Can you collect them all? And basically, it's a reference to him being, him having drank too much. You know, seeing pink elephants everywhere. See if I can do this. Platinum score, at least. Okay, we just gotta tuck knee, invert the champion's banner, and press the skaters and gap between the floats. So we'll impress them skaters. Oh, by the way,
Hey, you skate?
here's the tennis courts. In the original game, there was a mini game where you can go up to this tennis court right here,
Dirt on my shoes.
and then you could play tennis with your skateboard as a racket, and it was kind of like a mini game. They cut that out of this game because it was kind of just like it had nothing to do with skateboarding, but it was a fun little mini game if you found it. But that's little things like that that kind of added to the charm of the original games. That are not included in this one. And if you won the minigame, you would get like extra cash and stuff, so it was cool.
Hey!
Nice.
Camera's ready.
Don't. Kind of keep screwing this up. Let me see if I can.
Sweet.
I think this last skater here is what I need to get. Cool. Tuck knee, invert the banner, which is over here.
Let's see your trick.
But the banner, so I have to go up top. Okay.
Ready to shoot.
Beautiful.
You're a net. Hey!
Now we just got a gap between those floats, and we're golden. Now all those stats I collected in Tony Pro Skater 3 are applied to the 4th game here, so that's good. There's a one piece of cash that's left that I have to get, so I have to find that. So you might be hearing the parade music right now after I've done the floats challenge. Which I think if I restart here, you'll still hear it. Nice to hear some music for a change. Even if it's marching band music. Okay, this piece of cash is right up here. Okay, I know where to go. Beautiful. And you want to talk about product placement, we got a Taco Bell here, which was never in the original game, but there was some Taco Bell crossover promotion with Tony Hawk for this game. And I think they even made a gap for it, if I get up there.
Don't hurt me.
Let's see if I can do it. A literal Taco Bell. Which isn't the, like, it's not the weirdest thing to see, because I remember in Tony Hawk's Underground 1, if you're in the Manhattan level, you could see a McDonald's. And that's in the PS2 version. Well, the only version is the PS2 version. Yeah, that's the college, pretty much. Got this little area, too, that you can go into. Cafeteria area. I think you can go in this little, I think they used to be able to let you go in that elevator. So now we'll go to San Francisco. But since we have stats, we have three stats we can apply. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3. Sounds good to me. Okay, now we're gonna go to San Francisco, California. This is the first time we've ever seen this level remade. You know, a lot of Tony Hawk games have happened since 4, but you would get like revisits to levels in later games where they would kind of remake them in a way. But it was during the PS2 era. This is the first time we're seeing it, you know, in a PS5 graphics. So there is a novelty to it. This get rid of the rude dudes challenge used to be. It's a completely new level that they made, but it used to be that there's a bunch of seals on those docks, and they're eating all the fish or whatever. So you want to help the fishermen get rid of the seals. But for now, it's get rid of the rude dudes, who I guess are causing a ruckus. Nope, didn't start off good, but let's try it. You have to collect the packages. So there is kind of a weird thing where you're not talking to NPCs now in order to do these challenges, which kind of makes it a little lonely. But at least there are NPCs walking around and talking, if you listen to them. But again, this is just playing this game in a completely different lens than, which is something I'm like, again, like, sort of disappointed with, but also sort of intrigued by. Like you're never gonna get this in the original game by playing the 2-minute timer like this. We'll try to manual this, which I didn't do, but I'll do it next time. Some packages here. Are they asking me to tail slide? No. Sometimes they have different goals per level. Oh. Welders. Oh, here's a piece of cash I need. Okay. Damn it. Just not doing that right. Alright. I have to... They're asking me to tail grab... What is it? I have to look at it. 1 foot tail grab over the street. Okay, let's try it. Beautiful. Here's a challenge which I always thought was fun back in the original game that they included for this.
Don't just stand there. Do something.
Painter Neil is in trouble over there. Well, you know what? We're about to end our run, so I'll show you what's going on here. He's fallen.
You gotta be kidding me.
And there's a hungry shark that's below that we have to somehow... We have to help him out. So we'll do that first things first. Beautiful. Save Painter Neil. This was always just like a funny mission to do once you figure it out, but I'll show you. Basically, you have to get this ball loose. It says give it a push. Now, in the original game, it wouldn't hint you to give it a push. You kind of just had to figure it out. You do this.
Skater.
And that somehow has helped him out. Of course, you know, That's how you. If anyone's in trouble of a shark attack, you always just roll a giant cement ball down the road. Do the combo letters. Beautiful. Now this. Save the rude dudes. We have to get this bird seed from this person.
There's plenty of
But they don't let us do it. So we have to get rid of all the birds, basically. And then she gets sad. This is something that's completely new. I had to figure out, like, on my own. And it was just kind of like... Once you figure it out, I was like, alright, this is how you do it. Because it took me forever to... It took me a while... Not forever, but a while to figure out what I had to do. So now I have this bird seed. And there's all these guys trying to fish over here. But there's a bunch of quote-unquote rude dudes just standing around. So, it used to be what the mission was, there was a bunch of, like, seals that were eating all the fish and they were on those platforms. And what you had to do was you had to grind on this to distract the fisherman. And then he would walk back to his toolbox and then you would drop the lines. And the seals would go after... would jump off the platforms and go after the fish. I guess, I forget what you were trying to do, but you had to get the seals off the platforms. But this time I got the bird seed I just dropped.
I don't think they're friendly, dude. What the? Ah, get them off me! Bird attack! Bird war!
So, yeah, don't even ask. Alright, so we're gonna manual this all the way to the cones, which is another goal. You're like, what the fuck? Laugh my ass off. Manual the overhead, saver painter Neil. Alright, we're getting things out of the way here. I figure we'll finish up this level and then we'll call it, but we're making good progress. We gotta collect skate, manual the setup, retrieve the stolen camera, and platinum score. Cool. And then we'll get that cash also. So I'll manual the setup. Which is basically you have to do this. Oh, screwed up. I can do it from the other side though. Cool. What I also used to like about this level, which is not included in this one, was if you went over here, the T over here, I forget the. If you went over here, there was a little viewfinder thing here, and you could press a button, and it would show you the next level that it would like. You would look through it, and it would show you the next level that we're gonna go to. And in the original game, that was Alcatraz, the island, the prison island. So it was kind of a cool little thing. And there was also a mini game where, if you look through another one of those viewfinders, you would find a mini game where there's a shark chasing 3 seals, and basically like you're controlling the seals and you're like paddling for them. And you basically have to get the seals to get away from the shark. And if you manage that, then you would get some cash. But, again, not something that was included in this remake. That's what I mean, like, the original game just had so much Easter eggs and stuff that you could find. Retrieve the stolen camera. That were just not really included in this game, whether it's because of time constraints in the development or whatever, but... I think if I go this way, I could find this guy right here. And then give back the camera here. I should try to get that 400,000 points. Now my lip balance is not too good, so I should be careful. Alright, we'll have to do this one over. Okay. Let's try to get that cash while we're at it. wherever it may be. Now, all these ramps and little things you see here, it was part of, like, this level would be, you would go up to an NPC and they would offer a competition where you would have to do the best 3 heats. And all these little ramps were added in specifically for that goal. But if you completed the goal or you didn't start the goal, all these little, like, fun boxes and stuff were not here. But they put it in for the remake. They just kind of added it in, even though it's not a competition park. Which is interesting, to say the least. I think there's a piece of cash in the tree here. I'm not sure. Let me see. Oh, yeah, right here. Okay, there's one. There should be another one somewhere around here, so we'll figure it out. The cool thing about sketching is that you can launch from your sketch and you'll get some speed. Like so. In this game, they made sketching a lot harder to balance with when you're on it. In the original, it was kind of easier. I don't know why they made it harder, but I guess they made it harder, so... There should be another piece of cash somewhere, so let's see if I can find it. I think so. Maybe it's over here. I'll have to look for it. Yeah, let's try to find that last piece of cash before we call it. Should be around here somewhere. Oh, I think it's like right here. Okay, cool. Alright, and that's that. Is there anything else I could show this level off before we move on? Let's see. One of my favorite little lines to do is this, where you can kind of just ride this. Always fun. I can't think of anything else that's worth showing off here. Nope. But this was San Francisco. It was a cool level when you first played it. I remember, like, I got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, like, Christmas morning, and getting to this level and seeing, like, all the cars going around and, like, the people walking around, and it felt so much more lived in compared to past Tony Hawk games. And I remember that being a very exciting thing for me, especially since you were able to talk to people. Which, the novelty of that, obviously I can't show off in this version. Another goal, if you had a different skater, was to tail slide this railing. Like so. So, just let's pretend that that was a goal, and I completed that, and boom, I would have got that. But yeah, that's San Francisco. We're coming along with this. And especially now that I'll complete this, I'll add my 3 stats before I end this. Another thing that I'm a little disappointed with is I feel like one of the reasons we didn't get the SEALs mission that I was talking about, and they replaced it with Rude Dudes, is that Iron Galaxy seemed to not want to design animals in these games. In Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4, there's a lot of animals that get animal NPCs, a lot of animals that get introduced. Later, there's going to be a zoo level. In this game, there really aren't animals that they did. I don't know if it was like something they meant to do later on, if they had more development time, but it's something they didn't do, and they do certain things to try to get around it. Obviously, we saw the shark there, so they at least did that, but it's kind of strange. So you think they are taking shortcuts? In my opinion, I think they are, and I think they were kind of being very corporate speak about it when they were promoting the game to content creators and like letting content creators play it, and it just seems strange. I think they try to pretend it was like artistic liberties. They want to do something different, but it's like I think you guys just didn't have time to put animals in because there's supposed to be seals in this level that were not included. And you'll see later on that there's certain levels that actually include animals that they take some artistic liberties with, which is kind of like an eye roll. But if you never knew about it going into this game, you probably wouldn't care. But for me, it's like I know it's missing, and it's you can kind of feel it. Um, how many? There were 3 stats available for this, so we'll add 3 more. Um, let's get our lip balance going. 1, 2, 3. Let's get that for future combos. The combo scores that we have to do in the Tournament Pro Skater 4 run for this game are going to be harder than the Tournament Pro Skater 3. So, like, higher scores that we have to complete. So, any balance I can get going up is good. But yeah, that's that. We'll end it there. Next time, we'll do the movie studio, which is a competition park, which was never in the original game. It's a completely new level. We'll do that next time. Other than that, Peppa Pig, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining me. We'll try to get these out faster. I'm actually motivated to get these out faster because the sooner I can complete the skater's career, the sooner I can platinum the game, and the sooner I can just like move on. So expect maybe another stream this week, I'd say, or later into this week. You said bye. Yeah, anyone out there who wants to like, comment, or subscribe, it's greatly appreciated. You could subscribe to Kev Plays 9490 on YouTube, and or follow me on Twitter at Let's Watch Series. Other than that, stay safe, stay healthy, keep a clear head, and keep on gaming. And I will catch you all next time. Peace out.